Hey guys, welcome back to another ClimaxCombo video. I'm Checkers.
And I am Licious.
And today we're going to be going over another deck analysis build featuring another Hololive list. This one is Gura Azuki, Pants Standby. The whole point of this deck, it's a combo deck and you're kind of just trying to one-shot your opponent with as many Guras as possible using Standby to really get extra value and more resources for it.
And just like our other deck analysis series, we're not going to go too deep into the list. We're not going to go over every card. We're just going to go over a few cards that we think make the list work and stand out, and give you a general game plan and a rough list on the deck.
This list got hit by the ban list recently in JP, but it's still really powerful. And this deck is very explosive and kind of started the whole one-shotting trend, I think. Making use of Standby to get as many of these highly lethal combos as you can. So it's a pretty cool build. Here is a sample list with some sample ratios. The deck is completely built around the Gura. She needs as many soul triggers as possible, so you are kind of sacrificing your lineup a bit to achieve this and make the Gura more consistent, but it ends up being pretty cool. You use Standby to get 1 or 2 Guras out, and then you pull off 3 Guras, and it's GG.
So on to what Gura does, in case you guys don't know what this card does. She's a 3/2, 8k. If all your characters are Hololive, she gets plus 3k power. When she's played from hand to stage, you heal. But we're here for the last effect. When this attacks, and you have the pants, and you have 6 or less cards in your hand, you can pay 2, ditch 1. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Then resolve the following effect twice, where you mill the top card of your deck. If that card has a soul trigger, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this effect is very lethal because you attack, then you get another 2, and then you could deal 1 and then 1.
Mm-hmm.
The 2/1/1 burn is just so powerful because they're in 3 different instances. This is the whole point of the deck. This is why we need to ram as much soul triggers as you can into this build. And her combo is very expensive, but once you start throwing Standby in there to play these Guras out for free, all of a sudden this combo is more like a standard combo. It's not that expensive once you start doing that. So this is the entire reason you run the deck, and the payoff is there. Like, it's very lethal. We got some numbers on the screen. With Gura, it's very possible to kill your opponents at level 2 with the right setup. Pretty much 3 Guras, they're dead. Like, they're 2/2, 3 Guras, GG. Lights out. So it's worth it.
The other combo in the deck is to kind of just fuel the rest of it. Azuki 0/0, 2k power. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your other Hololive characters. This turn it gets plus 1k power. And the ClimaxCombo with the Standby. When you play the Standby, you can bounce this Azuki back to your hand, send the Standby Climax to your waiting room, and then search your deck for 1 Hololive character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand. So this combo is just really strong. You obviously want Standby to pull off this whole Gura game plan, and Azuki is kind of the best one to do it. She's just universally good. You can search for anything in your deck, anything that you might need and want to set up your hand a bit. She's really useful, and it's great to pair with Gura.
On to some other generally good cards to run in this list. The 0/0, 500 power. She has a soul trigger with a very useful ability, so that's the main reason she's here. Lamy, on the other hand, her effect is very good in itself. A lot of good effects on 1 card. She doesn't have a soul trigger, but when you do use her second effect, she sends herself to memory anyways. And because she's in memory, when you start using the level 3 Guras at level 2 to 3, if they're in memory, they're not going to affect your milling, having to hold soul trigger. Since Lamy's gone, it's not even a factor. So good utility, good effects, good compression, and makes the Gura more consistent. Just really good card in this list.
These cards are just high utility. Fix your hand a bit. And the second one is pretty good because you can grab anything with a soul trigger, which your whole deck has. So you can grab climaxes with it also. So just 2 good utility zeros for the deck.
Grabbing climax with Amelia is just so good. Like, oh my gosh.
That's the craziest thing.
It really is.
It doesn't even cost anything. You just look at top 3.
She's also 2/5 base. What up with that?
Yeah, that card's actually pretty good.
This card is pretty overloaded. On to some level 1s. Honestly, they're pretty standard level 1s. The level 1 Mori might seem kind of weird here, but she has a soul trigger.
Yep.
The rest of her effects are flavor text because we're not running the climax combo. So a 1-0 5/5 with soul trigger is good enough in this list.
Yep.
And this 1-0 Iroha is like okay. 1500 to the center. You know, brainstorm, you gotta run it. But she has a soul trigger, and that's why she's here.
Yeah. These level 2s are pretty useful as well. The Anya is just a really strong attacker to kind of reverse your opponent's cards and make sure they don't run away with the game, because your deck is kind of weak until you can actually just pull off your Gura combos. So this Anya is pretty good. And the Matsuri is just kind of the Amelia replacement. It's a way to generate more stock for the Gura to make it more consistent, to pull off a bunch of her combos, stand by her out early, start reversing your opponent's characters with her, and get more stock throughout the game.
Decent replacement, honestly, for the banned Amelia. Does the same, accomplish the same goal. Not as stupidly though, but
yeah,
it's good. And that's kind of it for this list. As you see, guys,
Yep.
the game plan is very simple. There's really not much going on with the deck. You just kind of hang tight, use your utility cards to set your hand up, set your field up, make sure you don't fall too far behind against your opponents. And then once you hit level 2, your opponent's gonna start sweating.
Yeah. Even if you're behind, like the amount of damage you put out will be a little lower than 1k1 decks. You know, you still have a lot of soul triggers, but you're pretty much counting on being behind, and then you could just kill your opponent as long as they're not like 2-0 or something. They're pretty much gonna die when it's time to blow off.
Yeah, like you're not pushing much damage. You don't have any 2/2s when you play standby. You're not gonna be pushing much damage that turn. I mean, you're gonna trigger a whole bunch of soul triggers if anything.
Yeah, so it'll help a little bit. But yeah, overall, the deck's pretty scary and popular still.
Yep. When you're ready to pop off, just count how many no soul triggers you have, and then just see how many cards left in your deck, and you can probably guesstimate if they're gonna die or not. So just requires a little bit of math too when you decide to pop off. So like we said, guys, very simple. Whole list is very all in on Gura, but it works.
Yeah, pretty worth card. Yeah,
that's it for this video, guys. Pretty short and sweet. So we'll catch you guys in the next deck analysis or in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.